The opinions expressed on the radio program by the host, co-hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Genesis Radio, www.genesisradio.com, Genesis Radio's owners, management, or affiliates.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. It's me, Amazing Amy, and I'm back on Genesis Radio for another episode of In My Opinion. So today, I feel like there's been a lot going on this week in the news. I want to get into some trending topics. I am going to share my opinion, but it's also my duty to stop the misspread of information or the spread of misinformation. So I'm going to yap a little bit, but I'm also give y'all the real tea on what's going on. So my talking points for tonight are obviously the New Orleans inmates jailbreak. Like, you have to be living under a rock if you haven't seen that. I also want to touch on, I saw a really good article from one of my journalist friends about Queen Latifah, and she mentioned some things about Black women representation and how she was asked to lose weight while working on Living Single. And I feel like it's very reminiscent of the recent conversation of the statue in Times Square and just like, where are Black women supposed to be represented? What are we supposed to look like? So I feel like that's something we're talking about as well. So first, let's get into the sensational trending news of the New Orleans inmate jailbreak. So it's been a week. Last Friday, in the wee hours of the night, 10 inmates broke out of the New Orleans Justice Center. So we good?
You good?
All right. So last Friday, 10 inmates broke out of the New Orleans Justice Center. It's been 7 full days since they broke out of the jail around like 12:45, 1 a.m. Apparently, no one caught on to this until the next morning at 8:30. So they had 8 hours. Like, there's a lot of details to consider here. They had 8 hours to make something shake, get out the way. Within 24 hours, they had already caught 3 of them. And this past week, they caught 2 more. So there's still 5 on the run. And it's just fun. Like, it's fun to talk about, but it's also like, real news. But I feel like this is just something straight out of a movie. And it's worth talking about. People been all over TikTok getting into the tea of who's going to be caught last, who put it all together, who was the brains of the operation. And so, yeah, I went down a rabbit hole, did some research. So, yeah, like I said, these inmates escaped the prison through a passageway they found in the wall behind the toilet in a cell. They made their way out, crossed the highway, and were on the run. They caught 3 of them. Now, their age, the age of these 10 guys, they range in age from 21 to like 42. So something interesting that already happened is the youngest ones got caught the earliest. So there's a theory there that like, did the older ones put this together? There's also a lot of speculation about the inmates.
Keep going. That's me doing stuff.
So within 24 hours, they already caught 3 of the youngest ones. Like, I think the very youngest one is like 20 or 21 or something like that. Let me look up my notes real quick. Yeah, so his name is Kendall Miles. So Miles is only 20 years old. They found him hiding underneath a car in a nearby hotel garage. So that leads me to believe he didn't think this through. It doesn't sound like they had any sort of discussions about like, okay, this is where we about to go. And in a case like this, I would assume that they're all like, is every man for himself, you on your own, and that's what it looks like. But the fact that the 20-year-old, the 24-year-old got caught next, um, I think this is the one they found just walking around in the neighborhood. Two of these were Crime Stopper reports as well. So people were helping them, or like the New Orleans local community was helping the police to an extent, because two of these were by Crime Stopper tips. And yeah, there's just like, it's just interesting. So the next two that got caught are 21, and they're both 21 years old. Um, and in terms of the Crime Stopper tips, so there's a lot of police, or I should say law enforcement institutions working on this. The Louisiana State Police, the New Orleans County Police, and they have bounties of 20,000 apiece on these guys. So it's not like there's no incentive to turn them in. They trying to catch them as soon as possible. But I still feel like a week later and 5 of them are still on the run. That's a lot. I'm not wishing the police no luck because they don't deserve it. But it is interesting to see how this is going to turn out. How long it's going to take them to find the rest of them? Where they at? Somebody got to know something. What do we think? Does somebody know where they are? Are they smart enough to do this on their own? Another detail about like these guys individually, one of them, this is not his first, second, or third time breaking out of jail. Antoine Massey, he's 32 years old. This is his 4th time escaping prison. And I did some research on his track record. He's been in prison since 2007, so he has over 20 years long of track record since he was a kid. He first broke out of jail as a juvenile. Him and some other juveniles broke into a room, broke a window, escaped. After that, his next escape was in 2019. He broke out of this jail near Monroe, Louisiana. I forget the name of it. I think it's called Morehouse. He broke out of there in 2019. In 2023, they put him on an ankle monitor. And in 2 hours, he cut the ankle monitor off. And they call him in Texas the same day. Like, this doesn't sound real. This sounds like, oh, he was working. He was plotting. So say what you want about inmates and the fact that they're locked up and they're in jail, but it sounds like they kind of got some sort of savvy and some sort of know-how, because it's been a week. No one's on to them. This is not their first time. Some of them, like I said, the older ones, I don't know if they are working together now, but it seems like they might have worked together in the inception of this plan in terms of who were going to be the decoys, who were going to be the ones to really flee. So there's a lot of rumors as well about, I saw like somebody saying one of them had died, or the police had shot one of them, or just a whole bunch of stuff. That's not true. But what is true is 10 of them escaped. 5 of them have been caught. The 5 youngest ones have been caught. The 5 older ones are on the run. The oldest one is 42 years old. They're also all in jail for serious crimes. Let's not overlook that. Like, let's not overlook that they are in prison for serious things, but there seems to be like just a lot of mistakes were made before this happened. I mean, obviously for 10 people to escape jail, somebody wasn't doing something. And I think this happened like when a guard went out for food or something. Like, somebody wasn't on top of their job, but it's just not one somebody. It's a whole institution known as the American justice system. So with that being said, yeah, this is going to be an interesting play out. I'm not sure when it's going to be over. This is like a big media story of our time. And I don't know, I like this kind of stuff because I want to see what's going on next. And I want to research all the people. I got more research on my list. I want to look up the DA and her role and who's the warden of the jail and where were they at and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be a show any way you slice it. Whether or not they find them, it's gonna be interesting, because if they don't find them, then the fact is that the American justice system let 5 Black inmates get away from their hold, which is just a huge like thumbs down when you look at it from an institutional point of view. Like, your duty is to protect the citizens from the people you have locked up, and you can't keep them in there, and they Black. So like, they feeling away. They feeling away. So one, this manhunt is not letting up, but are they gonna find them? The world may never know, or we just gotta wait and see. And if they do catch them, then what happens to them next is gonna be, the next thing to be considered. I did already see that the ones they caught are being transported to what I can only describe as modern day slavery. It's Angola State Prison in Angola, Louisiana. And when I looked up pictures of what this place looks like, it's literally men walking in two single file lines and another man on a horse with a gun overlooking them, making sure they do what they're supposed to be doing. But it's literally like the 1800s today. But they're being obviously transported to high security lockdown prison. Um, yeah, and it's just like I said, it's sensational, it's entertaining, but it's also real life. And I think that's the most interesting part of it is that this is really happening in 2025. Um, and that fact too is funny because some of these guys got caught because they went on Instagram Live. One of them got caught because he ordered DoorDash to an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere. Like some of them obviously weren't thinking, and again, it was the younger ones, but they let the 2025 get in their way. The older dudes who was born before all this stuff, I think they're gonna be just fine. I feel like they took some notes, just in terms of age. They should have some more wisdom. And this is not me rooting for them, y'all. This is just me giving y'all perspective on the fact that these guys might not be as dumb as people think they are. The ones who got caught may have been, but that might be a result of the smarter ones who said, "This is what we're gonna do." If the smarter ones were able to put decoys in place, that proves their intelligence right there. So I'm just saying, it's going to be something to see. So I'm super interested in how it's going to play out. Um, I wonder how the police who are like on the ground are actually feeling. I can only imagine they're steaming at the ears, for one, and two, they're definitely worried. I'm sure some people are shaking their boots about their positions or their titles or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna keep y'all updated. Catch me on TikTok at Amazing Amy if you want to see the quick tidbits that I put together so far about these guys and what they got going on. But anyway, you slice it. It's something to keep your eyes on. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. What you think about the New Orleans guys? Who you got your money on? Because I see y'all putting bets down, literally talking about I got 800 on this guy. Like, be so for real. But if you are playing along, let me know. I might have my money on somebody too. So let me know. But yeah, so the New Orleans jailbreak is crazy. 2025 is doing what it do as usual. Every year it's always some next crazy thing, and we like, oh, they can't top this, but yeah, we there. So what else did I want to get into? So I recently read Queen Latifah's interview with journalist Umu Fofana. She wrote this for Revolt. I know Umu. She's like my Instagram friend, like those people who just connect on social media. But we both New York girls. I've met her in person a couple times, and she wrote this really good article where she interviewed Queen Latifah about just a update on her life. And I'll read y'all the quick headline. It says Queen Latifah says being told to lose weight on living single inspired her mission to change the narrative about body image. So I have yet to meet a Black woman who don't like Queen Latifah. Okay. She just can't do no wrong in our eyes, from the laid hair to the representation. She does it all. She's an actress, a rapper, a philanthropist, so many things. So she's always been an advocate for Black women and an example of like a successful Black woman in so many different facets. So we love Queen Latifah. But seeing that she was asked to lose weight for living single was so interesting to me. And when I read further, it brought up my thoughts about the statue in Times Square, the 12-foot Black woman statue that's been up there. I think it's still up, but she's been up for about a month now, caused a lot of controversy in terms of what Black women look like or are supposed to look like, both positive and negative as normal. But I want to find this quote that Queen Latifah said that had me like, yeah, duh. Okay, so it says at one point we were approached while doing Living Single, and I was probably 24. We had the number one show. We had the number one show among Black and Latino households, and we were told that the word came down that they wanted us to lose weight. So not just her, she said us. So it sounds like as a cast, they wanted everyone to lose weight. And she said, and my instant reaction to that was absolutely not. I'm not losing a pound. Are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? We look like what real women look like. We are representing what four women from Brooklyn look like, and we all look different from one to the next. We have such a successful show. We're doing all the right things, and this is the one thing that you actually have to say, and you don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe you should take a trip to Brooklyn over the summer to see what people from Brooklyn actually look like. That's the way I felt at the time. And I must say, that's the way I feel right now. That's the way I feel all the time. Whenever it comes to conversations about what Black women are supposed to look like, or people commenting on our appearance in any type of way, I'm just like, well, what do you want from us? In terms of the statue, one of the big comments I saw that really struck a nerve with me was like, as normal, a Black woman is just standing there and everybody's so mad. So in terms of the statue, that's one thing. But in terms of somebody like Queen Latifah being, like I said, um, a representative for Black women, and I think all Black women are representatives for Black women because there is no paradigm for what a Black woman is, first of all. Which is why the question comes up is like, well, what do y'all want from us? What are we supposed to look like? Why y'all always so mad at us for looking how we look, or talking how we talk, or dressing how we dress? So that's always a conversation. But yeah, you know, I think representation is really subjective in one sense, because I don't think there's any one person who can represent a group of people. But I think you should pick who you want to represent you personally. That's just my opinion. Duh, that's why we're here. It's In My Opinion with Amazing Amy on Genesis Radio. Like I did that. So that's just what's been trending on my end this week. In local news, oh yeah, so I want to give like a little kitschy Pocono update about something that's happening in town that I feel like some people might care about, some people might not. It's not an event or anything. It's something super nerdy and like historical. So if you live in Marshalls Creek and you've ever gone up Marshalls Creek Road, there is this like old house on a corner turn. It's like a half mile up. They recently put a park over there, and the park has been getting a lot of traction, a lot of activity. It's a nice park. It has a walking trail. There's a waterfall back there called Marshall's Falls. The park is called Marshall's Falls Park if y'all want to take a trip there this summer. Really nice for the family, for the dogs, for whoever. So the park is cool. But a couple years ago, before the park was there, people would just park on the side of the road and like go down to that area because they knew of the recreational stuff back there. And then a couple years later, the cops told people they couldn't park there anymore because of whoever owned that house on the corner. So the house on the corner that looks like it's been abandoned forever is going to get demolished soon. And WNEP, or one of the news stations, recently did a little story on what the house is. And I thought I would share with you guys because it's actually kind of interesting. Because if you drive past there every day like I do, you see it and you're like, this house is definitely haunted. But the backstory is, it is called the Titania House. It was built in 1888, and it was originally a sanatorium. A sanatorium was a place where they like healed sick people with like tuberculosis and stuff that they didn't have antibiotics for back then. They had them in like think of like a COVID ward. So that's what that building was. It got transformed into a few other things since then, but it was originally a sanatorium from 1888, which means it's been up there for over 100 years. Like that's a long time ago. Um, but no one's been inhabiting it since I think the early 2000s. The county has owned it since 2008, and it does have that really nice recreational area in the back. So I guess at this point the county is going to get rid of it. I think they said there's a tree growing in the middle and it's just not inhabitable. They can't renovate it or anything. So unfortunately that will be gone. And I think that's interesting because like the Pocono landscape is always changing in terms of like the older buildings getting knocked down, like all the resorts are gone, all the things that were here in like the 80s that everyone came to vacation for, those are all gone. So yeah, even as a recent transplant within the past like 10 years, a lot has changed up here. So that's just going to be another change to see on the road or not see anymore. So yeah, RIP to that house. It'll be down, I guess, in the next, probably by the end of summer. And yeah, like I said, if you want to visit the park that's right there, it's really nice. It's cute. Hopefully this weather turns around any day now because we're having the roughest spring I've ever seen in my life. I wake up and I say, can we really not have 2 nice days in a row, Lord? Like, what have we done? It's rough. It's been rainy and cold every day. So when it warms up, that'll be a nice spot y'all could go to. I'll also keep you posted on more outdoorsy things, more events. There are some things tonight if you guys want to get out. It is Memorial Day weekend. How could I forget? I guess because all I do is work, so it ain't never a holiday for me. But it is Memorial Day weekend, so if you do want to get out today, there is, I believe, a comedy show tonight. Let me find a venue and all of that right now. Let me look it up. Shout out to DJ Strategy. I believe he'll be there tonight. I think he sent it to me. So let me go find my records. Bear with me, y'all. I'm coming. I'm so unprofessional. But I think there's a comedy show tonight. I think there's one tomorrow as well. I know about the one tomorrow, so let's start there. I lied. Boom, found the flyer, right? It's right here. I'm gonna put it up on IG for y'all so y'all can see it later. Tonight, comedy show at Fabu, which is a restaurant in Marshalls Creek. It's right next to Alaska Pete's, if y'all know where that is, by the post office. So Fabu Restaurant is having a comedy show tonight, featuring performances from Todd Lawrence, Joe Saladin, and Will Robbins. Show starts at 9 p.m. Doors open at 8. It's 6:30, so hop in the shower, hop out. You could be there on time. On Monday, actual Memorial Day, Seafood Soul Place. Shout out to Shay. Chef Shay from Seafood Soul Plates will be having a Memorial Day barbecue party at Echo Park, which is also on Marshalls Creek on 209 next to the library / community center. So if you're in that area, meet us at the park. We'll be there at barbecue hours, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Don't come too early, don't come too late. The burger's gonna be going if you come at 4. If you come early, bring a bottle, bring a little something. It is family friendly though, so you can bring the kids, bring the pets, bring yourself, bring your loved ones. It'll be a good time. Again, DJ Strategy will be out there, so yeah, it'll be a vibe. So that is the Pocono lineup for the summer kickoff. I will keep y'all posted every week because a lot more things will be going on as the weather warms up. I think that's all I had for y'all tonight. I don't really want to talk about the celebrity gossip and the celebrity relationships because that's their business. If you want to know what's going on with them, you can look that up. But other than that, I think I've accomplished my goal for tonight, which is to give y'all some more information about what's happening. Other than that, he left. So you gonna tell me that I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn this off. Yeah, I don't think I got nothing else for y'all. I'm not gonna sit here and yap all night. I really could get into the inmates some more if y'all really want to go for that. All right, go ahead. Thank you. But yeah, that's everything I have. As usual, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new here or if it's your first time seeing me, I'm Amazing Amy. I've been here at Genesis Radio for like a year and a half, 2 years. I just like to talk about what's going on in the world, give my opinion, and really my goal is to get people to think for themselves, especially in the information and misinformation age. I'm just here to get you to think outside the box or think inside of your own box, but I feel like everyone should make informed decisions, and so that's my duty. In the next couple of weeks, I'll have some more guests, some local guests from the Pocono area, and I have some calling guests as well. As we get our marketing up, I'll start sharing a phone number with y'all. But for now, I want to thank y'all for tuning in on Facebook Live and commenting and joining the conversation. And if you have something you want to talk about, shoot me a DM, drop in the comments, and we can talk about it. But that's it for the night. Happy Friday. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Happy Memorial Day. Be safe. No drinking and driving. Keep it cute. But enjoy your time. And yeah, have a happy summer kickoff. Later.